Yes. So the topic today is influence, and it's a very, very essential skill if you want to achieve success in your life. So whether you are in your business, whether you are in your career, whether if you are just interacting with normal human beings around you in your society, you require this particular word because this word actually means power. If you have more of influence, you can have more of a fan following. You can be a better leader. You can get your work done as a manager, you can get appreciation, and you can move ahead in your life, right? So if you look at all the historical figures, the big names, they were masters of this particular topic. And the worst part is this topic is not taught in schools. So Robert Cialdini has actually worked for around 20 years on this topic, and he has given some hints of how you can actually implement it. So there are he according to him, he says it is science. You can actually implement some of these tips, and infallibly they will give results. So he has given a set of six principles, right? So what happens in our life, if you look at it, life is very, very fast. We are running from pillar to post. It's a rat race. We don't have time, and sometimes what we do is we take quick decisions because we do not have time. And sometimes we take a decision basis on some triggers. So if the particular person, if the influencer hits on those triggers, we automatically react because most of our decision, in fact, it is proved that that 80 to 90% of the decisions that we take on a daily basis happens from the subconscious. You're not even thinking about it. Most of the decisions we take at a subconscious level, and this is what the influencers know. So they hit on those particular points that your decision seems logical, rational to you, but it is not a rational decision you have taken. Sometimes you take irrational decisions because the other person has influenced you in such a way. It may be called manipulation, as we have discussed. It may be good or bad, but the other person just took advantage of your busy schedule, of your busy life. So on a daily basis, you get so much of information that you are actually confused. And if the influencer is able to help you make that decision, show you the right triggers, he can actually influence your decision. Now, Robert Cialdini talks about six concepts in his book: the concept of reciprocity, the concept of scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. But there are some things which I just wanted to mention. Not everything is important. What is the meaning of reciprocity? You give something to somebody, and they will have a concept of returning back to them. So we are human beings. We don't like to take favors from somebody. We love favors, but we want to return the return gift also. You come to my birthday and you give me a gift, I would want to repay you back, a return gift to you. That is how human beings are. And that concept can be used. We discussed the concept given by Saurav Bera, where he talked about the MRs giving a lot of gifts. That is one concept of reciprocity. Now comes to the concept of scarcity. If you look at it, that they people buy something. Many of the times you buy something not because you want something, but many of the companies, they sell it in such a way that you will be losing something. So I think someone over here just mentioned about the Flipkart sale, that when you have a sale coming up, you just have got 2 hours and you know that you'll be losing a very big discount. If you look at most of the, now point is, many of the times these things are overly used. If you go to a mall in today's date, you'll find most of the shops will be having the same thing, the scarcity concept: 50% off only for today. Sometimes you get a bit confused of why everybody is doing it. Now everybody is starting to influence this particular thing. Now point is, if you are getting this particular thing around all across all of these things, what will happen is you will get averse to it. You will start ignoring some of this. And that is why it's an art, that just by adding a scarcity element, you will not always ensure sales, right? Because it has got overly burdened now. Now, talking about authority, many people have degrees, diplomas, uniforms, and experts. When they're expert, people listen to them. When there is consistency, you get small commitments from them, and you can go for a bigger commitment. So let us find out four of the important ones, the five of the important ones which are used over here. Now, what happens when you are actually giving a gift to somebody is that the other person gets into a guilt mode. Okay, so activating the guilt mode of the other person, what you are doing is you are making them indebted. Now when they're indebted, they want to repay you back. Now, there's a very important concept used in the book of this Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, right? So that particular book, he talks about the concept that every human being has got a bank account in the other person's mind. So if you look at what happens with most of us, so Kavita has got a bank account in her mind about Saurav sir. Saurav sir has got a bank account in his heart about Kavita ma'am. Now, what happens when they keep on putting more and more of deposits in that particular account? What happens is they are creating a guilt in the other person. So if I keep on doing more and more for you, you want to repay me back. If I give you more and more of value, you want to give your time, your energy, your efforts towards our particular thing. So that is the concept of reciprocity. Now, if you look at scarcity as a concept, you would have seen many of the times when some movie is declared that that movie will not be available on the regular theaters, it is banned, then more and more people download it from YouTube, they download it from torrent, and they just try to get more and more of it. So whatever you are selling, whatever you are giving as a knowledge piece, but whatever you're trying to influence, if you can make it scarce, people just going to love it. Now, liking is also a very important concept. When people like it, when people like you, they will be taking a decision which will be in your favor, right? So people will be unable to say a no to you if they like you. So you would have seen sometimes when the call center executives call you, and if she's a female and if she's very well spoken with you, and she is asking you a favor, sometimes you're not able to deny, because you like them, you like their particular way of talking, because they have done something for you. You just cannot are not be able to say no to them. Now, what is very very important, if you look at the reception desk of most of the banks in today's date, if you go to a private sector bank, you'll find the most handsome and the most pretty girl sitting over there, and they are trying to, so what are they hitting at? They're hitting at the liking concept, because if you like something, you'll be taking a favorable decision. So it is very very important, when you know this, that people take, sometimes they take decision when they like you. It's very very important for you to always be in a presentable mode. So if you're in a presentable mode, if you're dressing yourself well, if you're grooming yourself well, you have reached one step closer to getting that yes from the other person. What are the other things you can do? You can give them sincere compliments, then they will like you more. You can actually cooperate with them. You can actually just give me one second. You can actually talk about similar concepts of the things that you have. You can talk about some of the particular qualities which even you have, in which the particular person likes it. So if you find out common interests, you'll find that people will be able to connect with you in a much much better way, and they'll be taking favorable decisions. That is the concept of liking, according to Robert Cialdini. Then if you look at authority, see, right from your childhood, parents, teachers, doctors, and even government, they have been convincing you that whatever they are saying is good for you. And somewhere subconsciously, now this is something which happens at a subconscious level. So Rohit was talking about it. I think that sometimes you believe in some concepts because the other person is more knowledgeable. So if you look at the advertisements, they have doctors coming up. Anushka Sharma as a doctor coming up. She's not a doctor. Most of us know it, but subconsciously we take the decision because we have the respect for authority. We have that particular thing for authority. If there is a physiotherapy who has got a diploma from a US college, you will definitely be able to give her more respect, right? So there is a particular movie by the name Catch Me If You Can. It has Leonardo DiCaprio over there as the actor, and he uses the uniform of policemen, of lawyers, to actually get his work done from people. People have a strange respect for authority when they have a look at an authority, and that is where influence comes in. So if you have some authority, just try to wield that authority to get your work done. Now that is the work. Those are 4 to 5 important points. But influence is not just over there. There's so many books available on that topic. So now, Phil M. Jones has written a book, what to say, how to influence people, the magic words of influence and impact. And he says, that if you give people three options, this is one of the tips of how you can influence others. And this is how many of the companies are influencing you also in today's date. Many of the leaders are influencing you in this date. So, according to Phil M. Jones, he says that you can give the option of three. Okay, use the option of three. So out of these three options, what's actually happening psychologically, just imagine if I give you three options, you will feel that you are controlling the entire thing. You will feel very positive about yourself, but actually this is a decoy. This is actually a decoy strategy. So out of these three options, two will be negative options. You will not like it. I'm giving you options, but you will not like the first two, or the any of these two, right? And one of the options will be favorable to me, and I've given you three options. So you feel you are taking the decision, but actually you are not taking the decisions. So this decoy strategy is used by many marketing companies. Look at McDonald's. They use it. So they have a small particular combo which is $5. They have a medium particular combo which is 5.5, and the large one is 5.9. Now what they have done is, two of the options they did not want you to choose. They did not want you to choose option number A and B, small and medium. They wanted you to choose the larger one. But what did they do? They gave you three options. You felt you are taking the choice. You are making the choice. But actually, no. They have given you two options which are actually not looking good to you in your mind. And you eventually go and take the option number three because you feel that is a deal for you. It is actually not a deal, but they have taken an extra 90, no, approximately $1 from you extra. That is how they use this decoy strategy, the options of three. So try and give people more options. They will be liking you. That is how you can use influence. Now, there's also a concept of power of suggestions. If you look at, uh, you know, most of the advertising companies, they don't come and tell you that you have to buy something from them. A Colgate ad or a close up app, they do not come and tell you directly that you have to do this, this is right for you. On the other hand, they will suggest you, they will be making some suggestions to you. They'll be planting an idea in your mind, and when they plant that idea, they know for sure that you will be able to get and go and buy that particular product. So if you just go and tell somebody that this is right for you, that other person might get into a defensive mode. They'll be trying to get defensive and they will not follow your suggestion. So what is right? Maybe you can use this particular sentence. This is what Phil M. Jones says in his book. You can use a sentence like, I am not sure if this will help you, but just try and doing this. Just try and do this, and maybe this can actually help you. So suggestions are very, very important. Ads are also using this kind of suggestions. They want you to see. The best part or the worst part is, most of us human beings, sometime or the other, we have been lied to. Somebody sold us something which we did not want, and we felt like a fool. So the concept in influence is, people don't want to feel that somebody else is controlling their life. They want to take their own individual decisions, and that is where the power of suggestions comes in. So when you suggest something, they will be more open to accept a suggestion. But if you give an authoritative command to them, they will just deny you. Okay, so most of us want to buy, but we don't want somebody to be selling us. Okay, so that is a concept, amazing concept. Now, what is the most powerful parasite? This is an interesting concept. The most resilient parasite, something which will never die, is the concept of an idea. Okay, so if you look at an idea, if I plant an idea inside your mind, it's like a virus. It will not die. It will keep on continuing in your mind. It will keep on growing more and more and more, and you will go ahead and do that particular thing. So a single idea can change the city's direction. It can transform the world. It rewrites all the particular rules of the world, if you just plant an idea in the mind. So what are these people doing? If you look at it, they are planting an idea in your mind. If you have close up, if you brush from close up, what's going to happen? You'll be getting your soulmate in life. 12 hours of breath, they're just telling that, and they're stopping at that they planted an idea in your mind. Now, even when that idea is planted and you have stopped watching the ad, that idea is still there. So when you go to the shop and you have that particular idea coming into your mind, that 12 hours of fresh breath, you will be getting your soulmate, and you take that decision. Maybe you did not want to take the decision, but they just convinced you by planting an idea in your mind. Now, what did you know? Now, what happens is, this is also an amazing particular concept. If you want to influence somebody, don't just give your logic to the other person. If you just keep on giving your logic, what is going to happen? They will be feeling defensive. So what you have to do is, because people have been doing it for a very long time now, what you have to do is, you have to go and ask them, what is that they want to know, what is their questions. So if you look at most of the influencers, they don't just give you their concept of things, they ask you a lot of questions. Because when you ask a questions, if you look at the good best of the best salesmen, what they do is they come to you with some questions. They don't ask you, they don't give their own product, they don't sell their features or products to you. What they do is they ask you a lot of questions, because when you ask a lot of questions, you open up as an individual, you show some particular gaps inside your knowledge piece, and then I will come and I will give you, I'll fill up those knowledge gaps, and then you will be more appreciative, you'll be more listening, right? So that is what many of the salesmen do. If you want to actually influence people, you have to get the information out of them initially, and then you can go ahead. Now there's a concept of just imagine. Okay, so what happens is when you want to influence somebody, you have to show them a future, right? Just imagine what will happen after 21 days, right? This is what many of the times the good salesmen will be doing. They'll be telling you, imagine your life, after you completed this entire 3 months with us. Imagine your life in Hong Kong or in Bangkok, and you'll be just enjoying your life. Why are they doing it? They're creating a reality which is not there as of now. But what is that doing? In your mind, because your mind cannot differentiate between the real and the imaginary. So what it does is you feel good, that those happy chemicals release in your particular brain, and sometimes you take a decision which may or may not be right for you. Now, knowing this kind of things, people take decisions at two levels always. If you look at it, because you have imagined your future, because you have imagined that happy future, that you will be getting into your most prime shape after 1 month, 2 months time. What you did right now is you just took a decision, maybe that was not right for you. So if you look at your decision making skills, it happens at two levels. First decision you have taken in your mind, and then you actually go and execute the final one. But since you liked your future, which the influencer showed you, you take a decision which actually happens on the real life. So just try and create imagination for the, if you want to influence somebody, just create that imagination, that if you use this particular concept, if you use this particular product, if you use this particular service, imagine your life, how it will transform. Most of the sales advertisements, most of the influencers use this particular concept. Now, to get your decision, to get somebody to get influenced by you, what you can also do is increase the pain that is there in their mind as of now. So they might already be frustrated with a particular problem. If you look at the good salesmen, if you look at the good advertisements, if you look at the good influencers, they use this particular thing. They increase the pain. They will give you, they will add emotions to it. Okay, so imagine, if you are not able to lose your fat, what are the ads talking about? The ads will keep on complicating that entire issue. They'll be telling you you'll be having so many health hazards if you do not improve. They will be telling about that if you don't do it right now, you might get a particular serious ailment in your life. What are they trying to do? They're adding emotions to it. If you don't lose 5 kgs, you might have a heart attack. What are they doing it? They're adding more and more emotions to it, because if you add emotions, the other person will, there'll be a more likely chance that the other person will get influenced. Now, what is very, very important, because when you go and try to influence somebody, what is going to happen, for sure that the other person is going to resist you. Okay, that is always going to happen. So why can't we work in a similar, in an interesting way? And what is that interesting way? Let us go and find out all the objections which the other person will have. So this person, if I go and influence him, is definitely going to reject all my ideas. So what can I do alternatively? I can go and find out all the possibilities of why he will reject me. Now if he's going to reject me, what I can do is I can be prepared with all those things which can actually help me not getting rejected. So influencers work on a reverse engineering kind of thing. So they work on the problems first. Okay, so before convincing you, they have researched you properly of what are the things that you will be saying no to. And they have worked in such a way that in their pitch, in their particular message itself, all your objections are automatically answered. When they do it, you automatically fall for their decision, you automatically fall for their particular influence. So that is also one thing that you should be doing. If you want to influence somebody, just work on their objections and have an answer ready, and don't wait for the objections to come up. Include that in your sales message, include that in your influence message. Then it will be very, very easy. Right now, people resist change. Now, it's very, very important. If you look at MMDC process, what we do over here is we are trying to influence people to create more and more videos. We're trying to influence people to get a small activity done. It's a 15-minute process. Had we told it's a 1 hour process or a 2 hour process, people would be in denial. They would be in a shock. They would be not ready to accept it. And that is why we work on the concept of 1% growth. We say that don't do entire thing on day one, just keep on doing it, stretch it for 21 days. And what happens over there is give them small steps and they will be able to. So many people have achieved their fluency. But if we had told them that it's such a big problem, you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, they would not have taken the first step. So I'm trying to influence, we are trying to influence others by asking them to take small steps. So this is one skill that even you can, this is one particular tactic that even you can use. People, don't give them the entire huge problem. Don't give them the entire huge solution into one go. Just try and change one thing at a time, 1% at a time, right? So that is when you will be getting more results of your influence particular game. Now, it's very, very important that you take extreme ownership. Now, don't I told you this very, very important concept that most people want to be in control. So ensure that this particular person whom you're trying to influence feels that he is taking the decision. Because if he feels that he is taking the decisions, then he will be actually feeling very happy. He'll be feeling that he has taken a rational decision, he has not been fooled. So what you can do is you can just go and tell them, don't believe my words. So if I have to influence this person, I will not say that believe whatever I'm saying. I'll say, don't believe my words. You can go and check for yourself. Go and talk to 10 different people and then take your decision. Don't believe my words. When you say that, you are disarming the entire person, the person in front of you, and he feels he is in charge. Maybe he will go and check. Maybe he will go and check. But whatever you are saying, if you do that, if you give extreme ownership to the other person, there is more chances that he will get influenced by you. Now, what you have to do is you have to convince that they have already been doing with a slight modification. So if you have been already doing something, we if we try to change your behavior in a very big way, is chances that you will resist and you will not do that particular thing. But what if I told you there is not a very big difference in your particular life, which our new particular plan will change, will get implemented. If you look at how we do at MMDC, the process, the 21-day process, we ask you to add an extra 15 minutes into your life. You're already doing a lot of things for your RSLW. What we are saying is just do it in this particular way. So we are not altering your entire life, we're not altering your entire particular routine of the day. If we ask you for 2 or 3 hours on a daily basis, maybe many of you will resist. But what we do is we say that you're already doing it, just try and do it in this particular way, a small change, a continuation pattern, and then your future can really be good. So when you ask them for only a slight modification, you get better results. Now, this is Simon Sinek. Now, he talks about the concept of golden circle in his book, Start With Why, a very famous book, a very great leader who talks about the concept of golden circle. Now, I can ask you if I want your English, your communication to improve, I can talk about outcomes, that you go and imagine an outcome. That is one way of doing it. The other one is I can talk about the process. Go and talk with a lot of learners in our MMDC system. Go and talk with your experts and accountability partners. Just keep on creating more and more of videos. Just keep on giving the PPTs, or I can give you a new identity. Okay, I can imagine, I can make you imagine the new identity of how you will become after 1 year. If you keep on doing it for 1 year, imagine the new self. Imagine success coming automatically to you. Imagine you becoming a magnet. When you actually identify with the person you want to become, then all these things will automatically start happening, because now you are motivated from within. That inner motivation has already been there. Now you will do all the systems and habits, and now you'll be working for the outcome. So that is what Simon Sinek talks about. So just if you want to influence somebody, don't just hit on the outer surface. Don't just tell them that go and do this. Okay, just appeal to their inner self, their inner identity, and then they will be actually willing and doing whatever you want them to do. Right now, other importance, I think Saurav pointed it very well, that it is not just about influence. It is not just that if you use all these points that we have talked about, you'll be getting the results. You should also be confident. Why do leaders get more and more followers? Why do leaders get their work done? Because they are confident. They're confident in themselves. They can communicate very well. They have a vision for the future. If you look at Elon Musk, if you look at Mark Zuckerberg, if you look at Steve Jobs, what are they doing? They're not just influencing you to buy their particular product. They are telling you that they have a particular plan to change the entire humanity. The entire race is going to change to a next level if you follow their particular products, and that is where you go and buy their products. It's not just because they're creating the particular product. They are confident, they are well good communicators, and they have a vision for the future, and that is why sometimes you buy. So if you want to just tell something, you just cannot be telling something to people and they will be buying you. Okay, they'll be getting convinced by you. You have to have that leadership qualities also, so that they can come ahead and this particular accept your ideology. Now, there's a concept in the Robert Cialdini's next book, which is called the concept of persuasion. So even before you have actually convinced somebody, even before you have used your first word of logic, you have to create an environment, and which happens, which is pre the particular thing. Okay, before the particular logic has been put. So I think the biggest example, according to me, is of persuasion is this particular movie, DDLJ. One of the landmark movies of Bollywood, where before actually going and proposing his father, the boy takes a lot of effort in creating that environment, in projecting himself as somebody who will be accepted, right? So he keeps on doing a lot of things. He keeps on taking pain even before he has uttered his first sentence. So that is what the concept of persuasion is. If you have created the environment before, you'll be able to get ahead and get the decision in your particular favor. You'll be able to influence people even before they have actually thought about it. That's possible. Okay, so I'm done with my presentation, and I'm absolutely willing to answer your questions if you have any with regards to this particular presentation. So if you have any questions on influence or persuasion, please ask it right now so that we can address